monster movies, or monster movies in general. Who doesn't love them? They gave us classics like Gremlins, Ghoulies, and Critters, which this video is about Critters. Now, I'm going to be talking about all of the Critters movies. All. I'm reviewing them all. The first one. Alright, the original Critters movie. Who doesn't love it? Alright, who doesn't love it? It's better, or it's a good movie. Honestly, it's a good movie. It has a good plot. It has what I can tell, 12 people died in Critters, and most of them were the critters themselves. It isn't better than Gremlins, but it's definitely better than Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Or I wouldn't say definitely, that was a great movie, but it is a good movie, and I do think it's better than Killer Clowns from Outer Space. This movie has 12 deaths, and that's more than Gremlins, but a lot of them are off screen because, it's a PG-13 movie. And yes, I know Gremlins had kills too, and that were some of them off screen, but at least they showed some people falling, some people that, and Gremlins 2 showed a man getting bit and stuff, and it's just way funnier than this. But I'm not saying Critters is a bad film. I'm saying I would rate it 8 out of 10, honestly. It's not a Gremlins ripoff. What I know is it went into production before Gremlins was released. It didn't went into production before Gremlins. The merrier alright? I don't know. But they do admit they did change the script after Gremlins was released. This movie is definitely funny and creepy at the same time. I wouldn't say it's super duper creepy. They're little fuzzballs. It's a great film, a fun time. The bounty hunters are funny, but they're cool and all. Alright, time to move on to Critters 2. With that out of the way, now we move on to Critters 2. I forgot to mention we're not talking about Critters, the new binge, because I can't find it anywhere, and it isn't, and Prime Video has it, but it isn't available in America. I even went so far to find it in pirating sites, and they don't have it. So I'm not including Critters, the new binge. I'm including Critters Attack, but not Critters, the new binge. Just remember that. Oh, it has a DVD, but I'm not paying for it, so. Alright, Critters. So, I guess, this one isn't forgettable. It isn't forgettable, alright? It's actually good and it's funny. Alright, it's good and it's funny. I like the Freddy Krueger joke where, they go into the restaurant, they see a Freddy Krueger, or they don't go into a restaurant, whatever. They see Freddy Krueger's paper cutout, and, Lee is about to turn into Freddy Krueger, but then, Charlie just shows a picture of nudes and she stops. I gotta admit, that was pretty funny. But we're not here to talk about just the jokes. It had good gore scenes. The critters, they die from frying. That's funny. Critters 2 has 41 kills and beat the original by 29 more kills. The fact that it even has 41 kills is surprising, really surprising. Lee dies in this one. So Lee, dies, and it's now just Ugg. Top 10 saddest anime deaths. No, just kidding. But Lee dies, and it's now just Ugg and Charlie. Ugg literally cries, and I would say count the police officer as a kill, but for some reason he just comes back out of nowhere in the movie. I know, it's weird. It doesn't make sense, but I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to. Alright, that's all. Down, 3 more to go. Here's 3. Now, this one I like a lot. Alright, it's funny. I don't see any weird. It's weird and funny. It got the Gremlins treatment, like how the sequel is literally just a fucking mockery of the original. Was just a mockery. We never got any other Gremlins films after that. But the second film was funny. This film was just funny as hell. They go into the city and we see Charlie, but we never see what was his name? The kid, aka teenager from the first 2 films ever again, nor his family. We do not see the Browns family ever again until the last film, but we don't see the kid and we don't see the memorable characters from our That doesn't make the film bad. This film was hilarious. I like the fact how like the critters could fly and stuff, and also like once they roll over, they could get speed. That's similar to Sonic. It's really funny and stuff. It's and Charlie appears. Charlie becomes like a real main character after this film, and he doesn't return after critters attack. I'm just saying that. This was a funny film. For some reason, Charlie's in the ground looking for critters. Apparently, he never went back to space. And yeah, that's all. Review is almost over. It isn't over, but it's almost. Oh, dear Lord. This was supposed to be a Critters film. When I first saw the first 2 minutes, or the first, like, when Charlie was, okay. But, like, the rest, I thought the thing glitched and just took me to another film instead. Because this film, it doesn't even have... This couldn't have been a film of Charlie going in space and he brings some critter eggs. Or this couldn't have just been a separate film in general, just without the critters. Like, after this, no, this is just a bad film. It's not entertaining. I was bored for hours. I checked if I was watching another film and if this thing was glitching or something, and no, I was watching the right film. And I don't know, I was watching the right film, but this movie was boring. This couldn't have been a whole separate film. A guy goes in space. The critters could have never been in it, and the critters should have. And this couldn't have been a separate film, or this couldn't have been a film that happens in a universe where the critters exist in it, and like in the same Critters universe, and the critters get like one cameo, but they get killed, and this couldn't have been a whole separate film. Like, seriously, just a film with Charlie from Critters in it. Honestly, this couldn't have been just a different film, and I wouldn't have not to seen this. This movie is extremely boring, and it barely even has critters. And the critters aren't even that violent, so this is a horrible film. The final countdown. Oh, dear fucking God. The critter films went downhill after this. They should have never teased a sequel at the end of the 3rd film and just end the critters film after the critters thing after the 3rd film. Because, dear God, this film literally rips off Gremlins, and Critters isn't even supposed to rip off Gremlins. They're 2 separate franchises that are just similar. But they rip off Gremlins because they have the same type of plot. One is good, only one is good and the only good one kills one of the bad ones and stuff. That's way too similar. One of the bad ones. That sounds too similar to Gizmo killing Mohawk at near the end at Gremlins 2, the new batch. And one only being good is way too similar to when Gizmo makes more eggs and stuff, more Mogwai, and they're like bad and stuff. So they rip off Gremlins with that, and they use the same type of plot, and they also use the alien gets returned back to his home, and that no. And I know Warner Bros. Was the one who made this film too, and they made Gremlins and I think E.T., but no, it's too similar. So they ripped off Gremlins. Critters really went downhill, and it was made from the same company. They should have never teased a sequel after the third movie, and it shouldn't have ended after the third movie. After the third movie, the fourth one was horrible. Critters Attack was horrible. It's just bad. So here's my ratings of all 5 of the films. Which also, by the way, are they asking for just more money? Because I feel like they stopped trying after the fourth film. Or I feel like they stopped trying after the third film, I'm sorry. But they stopped trying for the fourth film just to get more money and stuff. So here's my ratings on all of the Critter movies. Critters, the original Critters gets 10 out of 10. It's a good film, but it isn't better than Gremlins. Critters 2, this one's a fun one, but it gets 8 out of 10. It's a good one, and it beats the original with kills, but it isn't better than the original. This film is Moments Before Accidents. This one is the funniest one, and it gets 9 out of 10. The original and the second film beats it with kills, but it beat both of those films with laughs. Again, it isn't better than the original though. Critters 4. This one is obvious. Every Critters film when this released went downhill. So this gets 1 out of 10. It has Charlie, and Charlie's the only good part of this film, so yeah, 1 out of 10. It has a promising poster, but it's just a horrible film, and Charlie's the only good part of it. Critters Attack. This one's obvious. This one gets 0 out of 10. This one just copied Gremlins. All the characters are not even likable. Okay, so the whole franchise would get 5 out of 10, and it shouldn't have ended after the third film, because after the third film, everything went downhill. All right, and that's the end. Have a great day.